This is Eirena and Chloe's calcium carbonate precipitate presentation.
We're going to start with defining what a precipitation reaction is. A precipitation reaction is a chemical reaction occurring in an aqueous solution where two ionic bonds combine to form an insoluble product. They occur when two or more solutions with different products are combined, resulting in the formation of insoluble products that precipitates out of the solution. A precipitation reaction is a specific type of double replacement reaction. And you can see the formation of how a reaction is formed, how A and C, they're always at the front, like they're always but they have different B and D's. The B's and D's are switched on the product side.
For this precipitation reaction equation, the equation is calcium chloride plus sodium carbonate, which yields calcium carbonate plus sodium chloride. The reactants in this equation is calcium chloride and sodium carbonate. The products in this equation are calcium carbonate and sodium chloride. Compounds that are soluble are calcium chloride and sodium carbonate and sodium chloride. The compound that is not soluble is calcium carbonate.
Alright, so now we're going to show our demonstration or the example of the precipitation reaction of calcium carbonate that we found for our video that has this particular equation. So here you can see that the calcium chloride is mixed with the sodium carbonate, and now it makes the calcium carbonate and sodium chloride. And when they're starting to mix, there's like this foggy appearance. It has appearance of like a fog. You can see that right there, and it's instant. But then when it's at the end of the video, like at the end of the reaction, you can see how there are chunks, like right here. That is the calcium carbonate.
To get your ionic equation, you have to separate all of the water-soluble compounds and give them an appropriate charge. For example, you'll be giving the calcium a 2+ charge since it's in period 2, the chlorine a 1- charge since it is in period 7, sodium a 1+ charge since it's in period 1, and since carbonate is a 2- charge, and you can tell because it's a polyatomic ion. But since calcium and carbonate are mixed, they create a solid precipitate. So they are brought down into the equation and are not changed. But when sodium and chlorine are mixed and they create an aqueous solution, they are separated with the same charge they have on the product side. Once you do all of this, you have your ionic equation.
So now we're gonna get our ionic net equation. So first, you have to start with the ionic equation, which we have here, that Chloe so beautifully explained. So first, the first step in getting the ionic net equation is to identify your spectator ions. Spectator ions are the compounds that appear on both sides of the equation. In this example, our spectator ions are the chlorine, and it appear both right there and there. And then we have sodium, which appears right there and right here. So now that we have identified our spectator ions, all we have to do now into forming our ionic net equation is to bring down our the ions that are not spectator ions, and that is the calcium and the carbonate when that forms the solid. So, yes. Thank you for listening to our lab. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Bye,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Jones.